What I want to do is teach you some of the unique bodyweight exercises that I've developed. I've come up with a concept that you should really exploit your bodyweight before you move on to external loading. So some of the things I've developed, these are some unique exercises. The first one is a partial co-contraction range lunge, where we put one foot back and we put our opposite hand across and the other hand on our butt, and we go down. We come back up. Fantastic, excellent question. Appreciate that question. That's a co-contraction partial range lunge. The next exercise I'd like to teach you, the unique bodyweight exercise, is a single leg deadlift bent knee. So what I did is I developed this movement, especially for rehab, where we're using only one leg at a time, and we might go down as far as you can. It might be down to the bench, bending the knee might be coming up, and if you're getting really good, you can stand up on the bench or on a low block like this. And if you had incredible range, you could stand on the block and go down until your knee was down on the ground. That's a single leg bent knee, and that's one of the exercises that I've innovated. Now the next exercise I'd like to work on is the single leg squat with the standing on a low block. So I bring the block back in, and this is another exercise I developed in particular for rehab, where you stand on the block, you go down, come back up, brush for each, and every 10th rep you'd stay in there for 10 seconds, and come up after 10 seconds and continue on like that. Typical minimum of 20 reps. So that's single leg squat standing on a low block. The next one I'd like to teach is single leg back extensions, where you might get on the back extension device. If you could just hold one of my legs. So I'm only hooking on one of my legs. Only one of my legs is being held back. I'm going to go forward a little bit more and hold one of my legs. So I'm just working one leg at a time in the back extension. Great, thank you. And then the next unique bodyweight exercise I'd like to teach is the stiff-legged single leg deadlift. So you stand on one leg, and with your knee slightly bent on your working side, the knee slightly bent on the working side, you go down and all the way down until you touch the ground. If you can got the range, come back up, the other leg's not touching, the other leg stays still. So it's a stiff-legged deadlift on one leg. And the next one I'd like to teach you was single leg squat, where you might hold a frame, put the other leg out in front, you go down as far as you can come back up. Single leg squat, holding onto a frame if need be. And then I'd like to teach you the lying hip thigh extension, so you might lie on the ground. Obviously this is not a unique exercise, but it's in my programs, and I push up until my leg is parallel with the leg that's driving off the ground. And the last one I'm going to teach you is what's referred to as a Bulgarian squat. It's a single leg squat with the back foot on the bench, popularised in the early 90s by a certain Bulgarian coach, where we put our back foot up on the bench, we might put our hands on the head and we'll go down as far as we can, the knee might be on the ground, and we come back up, and that's the Bulgarian squat. So there are 8 unique single leg bodyweight exercises, the first 4 of which I've innovated. The next 2 which I modified to bring to the market, and the last 2 are more commonly known. Although in the case of the Bulgarian squat, as of 92, not as commonly known. So thanks for your attention.
Alright everyone, thanks for coming to my seminar. Today we're going to be talking about the unique unilateral single leg exercises that I've created and I developed and I innovated. They're mine. So the first one we're going to be talking about is a partial range co-contraction lunge. So what we do here is we basically stand like so, we put one hand on the inside leg, one hand on the glute, and we go down and come back up, and we go down and come back up, making sure both muscles are contracting at the same time. That's the first one. The next one we're going to be talking about is the single leg bent knee deadlift. Now, how you do this one is, and remember these are my exercises, you stand on the block, like so, and what you want to do is you want to get the shin down to the ground as low as possible while bending forward at the hip. So basically you're going down, obviously not like I'm doing it here, but you know, my athletes do it and they know exactly how to do it all. So that's that one. The next one is a single leg squat standing on a low block. So what we do here is we stand on a low block, one foot down, and we go down till the foot just touches the ground and come back up. Typically we do them in a minimum sets of 20, and we hold a 10-second pause at the bottom every 10th rep. So these are exercises I've created through my own training over the years. The next one that we're doing is a single leg stiff leg deadlift. So basically all we're doing here is we're standing on the one leg, The other leg stays by the side, and we're bending down, touching the ground if we've got the range, the working leg's slightly bent, and come back up and ensuring that we don't change the angle of the knee and that leg stays by the side. So those 4 exercises are actually my unique creations. Next, we've got a single leg back extension. So what I'm going to do here, I'll get one of the participants to come up and give me a hand. They're just going to anchor my back leg over the bench here, and basically I'm going to go down and come back up. So that's a single leg back extension. Next, we've got a single leg squat. So what we do here is we basically stand on the one leg and we bend down as far as we can and come back up. If we need to hold the bar for support, we do so, but we're bending down as far as we can and coming back up, making sure that front leg is out straight. Next, we've got the supine lying hip thigh extension. So I'll just get rid of that block. And all I'm doing from here is I'm pushing my hip through my glute and going back down again, pushing straight up and going back down. And then finally, the last one I'm going to teach you is the Bulgarian squat, they call it, popularised by, obviously, me. What we're doing from here is rear foot's on the bench, we're here, hands on the head, and we basically go down and come back up, and the knee can even go down to the ground. There's a bit of a variation there I created, but that's basically what it is. Are there any questions from the content of this unique exercises that I've created myself over many years?
Coach, I've got a question.
Sure.
A lot of those exercises look familiar. Did you steal them, or did you get them from somewhere?
No, look, these exercises have been around for a long time. They've been around a long time. All I'm doing is bringing back the things that have been around for a really, really long time. There's places you can go to get them, but it's mainly...
Coach, those exercises really resonated with me. If I want more information on those exercises, Coach, where would I get them from?
You'd have to... Look, you can basically through personal communication with me is the only way you can get them, because they're my unique exercises, so you've got to come to me to get them.
What about a book, Coach? Do you have a book I can get?
You can also buy my book. My latest book has these exercises in there, so the only way you can get these exercises is through watching this video, buying the book, or personal consultation with me.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.